Jurassic Park 3 is one of the most controversial films in the franchise, filled with thrilling action, unexpected choices, and plenty of mysteries. But behind the final cut we saw in theaters, there's a hidden world of ideas, scenes, and dinosaurs that never made it to the big screen. Imagine a story where the Spinosaurus was replaced by a fearsome Baryonyx, a brutal battle between Carnotaurus and Ceratosaurus, or even living baby Mosasaurus swimming in a secret facility. There were also alternate storylines that could have changed the fate of Isla forever, showing us a darker, more dangerous vision of the island. In this video, we'll uncover these fascinating concepts, examine the choices that shaped the final movie, and explore how Jurassic Park 3 could have been a completely different experience. Originally, the main predator of Jurassic Park 3 wasn't going to be the Spinosaurus at all. Early in development, the Baryonyx was considered for the role, and even a Suchomimus was evaluated as a possible choice. In fact, there's an original Jurassic Park 3 logo featuring the Baryonyx, and in several pieces of concept art and storyboards, the Spinosaurus is still labeled as Baryonyx. However, the creative team ultimately decided to go with the Spinosaurus, partly to introduce a completely new dinosaur to the franchise, one even bigger than the T-Rex. With its enormous size and distinctive sail, the Spinosaurus became the perfect way to give the third film an even more imposing threat. The Baryonyx has a short yet fascinating role in the early plans of Jurassic Park. InGen bred 5 individuals inside the Isla Sorna laboratories, designed to become part of a special attraction within the park. Their enclosure would have been located near a river, allowing visitors to watch them thrive while fishing, making them a unique addition compared to other dinosaurs. However, these creatures never reached Isla Nublar. Whether some managed to survive Hurricane Clarissa on Isla Sorna remains a mystery, but given their preference for freshwater environments, it's possible they adapted and continue to live there. One of the deleted scenes from Jurassic Park 3 involves Egypt. The idea was to start the movie with a paleontologist, or a team of them, excavating in the desert and discovering a Spinosaurus tooth fossil. This would have introduced the new predator early on and hinted at its real-world discovery, since the first Spinosaurus fossils were actually found in Egypt. The scene was meant to establish the Spinosaurus as a major threat, but the filmmakers decided it wasn't necessary for the main story. They wanted the action to start immediately, so they introduced the Spinosaurus directly on Isla Sorna during the plane attack. Another of the scenes deleted from the film was the extended battle between the Spinosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Originally, the fight was designed to be more balanced and brutal. Both dinosaurs would inflict significant damage on each other, making the Spinosaurus's victory feel hard-earned rather than sudden. In the original concepts, the way the Spinosaurus killed the T-Rex was even more graphic, instead of just breaking its neck. One version showed the Spinosaurus ripping out a piece of the T-Rex's throat. There's even a test recording of the fight using puppets, where you can clearly see this brutal attack. Interestingly, in that early version, the Spinosaurus had a crocodile-like design and a brown color, quite different from the final look in the movie. Additionally, there is a fully CGI rendered version of the extended fight that was shown in a behind-the-scenes featurette, giving fans a glimpse of how intense the battle could have been. Ultimately, the scene was toned down so it would be suitable for a wider audience, but the idea of a long, vicious battle remains fascinating. At one point in Jurassic Park 3, there was a planned scene showing a battle between an Ankylosaurus and a group of velociraptors. This scene would have taken place right after the team discovered the abandoned lab. The goal was to show that even large, well-armored herbivores weren't easy prey for the clever, coordinated raptors. The fight likely would have followed a pattern of attack and defense, the raptors trying to surround the Ankylosaurus and find a weak spot, like its belly, while the Ankylosaurus defended itself with its thick armor and powerful club-like tail, capable of taking down attackers with a single blow. The scene was ultimately cut due to pacing and budget concerns, but it would have been a fascinating glimpse into the harsh predator-prey dynamics on Isla Sorna. In an early concept for Jurassic Park 3, the Carnotaurus was originally planned to replace the Ceratosaurus in the film. However, it was later discarded, likely due to its appearance in Disney's Dinosaur. There are also rumors that the filmmakers considered including a fight between the Carnotaurus and the Ceratosaurus we actually see in the movie. While details are scarce, the idea would have been to show a brutal clash between two large predators, giving fans an extra glimpse of the deadly ecosystem of Isla Sorna. In the Jurassic Park novels, the Carnotaurus had a unique twist. Their DNA included chameleon traits, which made them green and capable of blending into their surroundings. Interestingly, there are also rumors circulating that these chameleon Carnotaurus were going to appear in Jurassic World Rebirth, but were replaced by the so-called Mutadons. Another interesting scene cut for the film involves a battle between velociraptors and pteranodons. Actor Sam Neill even mentioned in an interview that a sequence was planned where the velociraptors interact with the flying reptiles. Rumors suggest that this interaction would have escalated into a fierce fight, but it never made it to the final film. The scene aimed to show that the island's predators didn't just threaten humans, they also competed for territory and resources. Pteranodons, with their aerial advantage, would swoop down to peck and slash at the raptors. Velociraptors, with intelligence and teamwork, would ambush them on the ground using agility and sharp claws. The most likely location for this clash would have been near the aviary, where both species' territories overlapped. While the scene was ultimately cut due to pacing and budget concerns, it remains a fascinating glimpse into what could have added another layer of danger and ecological depth to Isla Sorna. In the early stages of the film, the Spinosaurus wasn't just a mindless predator, it had a very personal reason for chasing the characters across Isla Sorna. According to an interview with one of the illustrators who worked on the film's concept art, there was an idea in the very early development of the movie that the female Spinosaurus was avenging the death of her baby, a scene that was never filmed. The concept involved the mercenaries Cooper, Nash, and Udesky encountering the young Spinosaurus near the plane landing. Cooper shoots the infant either to secure the area or as a cruel act, and the mother reacts immediately with a massive, furious roar. This would have explained why the Spinosaurus relentlessly hunts the group throughout the island. Her violence is driven by maternal grief and revenge, not just predatory instinct. The scene was ultimately cut because the production focused on fast-paced action, and animating the baby and setting up this motivation would have slowed filming. Even though it was never depicted on screen, this early idea gives fans a compelling explanation for the Spinosaurus's behavior, showing her as a protective mother rather than a purely monstrous villain. At one point in the film's development, the story featured a much more extensive sequence set inside an abandoned InGen research facility. Instead of the brief look seen in the final movie, the characters would have explored dimly lit corridors lined with advanced scientific equipment, shelves of preserved embryos, and even a small cache of weaponry left behind. Their search would eventually lead them to a massive containment pool where two juvenile mosasaurs swam in eerie silence. Even at their size, these aquatic reptiles carried an unmistakable sense of danger, marking what would have been the Mosasaurus's very first appearance in the franchise, years before its cinematic debut in Jurassic World. This moment would have expanded the lore of Isla Sorna, proving that InGen's experiments reached far beyond the land and sky, pushing into the ocean's depths. The quiet, tense observation of the young Mosasaurus would have been a subtle reminder that not all threats on the island hid in the jungle, some waited beneath the water's surface. Budget limitations and the technical challenges of creating convincing CGI for a large aquatic predator at the time ultimately led to the sequence being dropped. Still, the idea lingered, eventually resurfacing in the form of the iconic Mosasaurus scenes that became a defining highlight of the Jurassic World era. During the film's early planning, one of the most ambitious sequences planned was a high-speed chase inside a massive greenhouse-like building. The idea was to have Alan Grant riding a motorcycle through the structure, desperately trying to outrun a pack of velociraptors that stalked him through the shadows. It was meant to be a tense and visually striking moment, unlike anything audiences had seen in the franchise before. Early drafts of the script developed this idea even further. At one point, the group was supposed to spend the night at the abandoned InGen compound, where velociraptors would infiltrate the facility and force them to flee. From there, the chase would escalate outdoors, with the survivors jumping onto dirt bikes in a frantic attempt to escape. The pursuit would eventually lead them into the treetops, where they tried to find refuge high above the forest floor. One of the most dramatic moments envisioned for this sequence was the sacrifice of Cooper, who threw himself into danger to protect Eric. Unfortunately, the sequence never made it to filming as it was too expensive and complex, and constant rewrites forced many ambitious ideas to be cut. Still, traces of it remain in the official toy line, which featured Alan Grant with a motorcycle and a velociraptor, a nod to this lost chase that fans still imagine today. The aviary sequence we all saw in the film was originally conceived as much more ambitious. Early versions of the script expanded this section with additional scenes of suspense and danger, even changing Billy Brennan's fate so that he would not survive. But the most dramatic difference was the inclusion of a terrifying new creature, a gigantic pteranodon that towered over the rest of the flock. This enormous predator, sometimes called the Alpha Pteranodon, the Giant Pteranodon, or the Mammoth Pteranodon, was imagined as the leader of the group. With a wingspan close to 20 meters, it was twice the size of a normal adult. In one version of the script, Billy is trapped in his parachute and left hanging among the rocks when the giant swoops down. The attack snaps his harness, sending him into the river below, but instead of escaping, Billy was meant to meet his end at the claws and beak of this monstrous pteranodon, aided by the rest of the flock. The extended sequence also showed the giant slamming into the aviary's fencing, desperately trying to reach Grant and Paul Kirby as they swam beneath the barrier. While the idea was ultimately cut from the final film, it didn't disappear completely. The Mammoth Pteranodon appeared in toy lines and even in the Jurassic Park 3 Park Builder Game Boy game, standing as a fascinating glimpse of what could have been. In the initial drafts of the movie, the team briefly explored the idea of a red velociraptor. Unlike the raptors we see in the final film, this version had a striking crimson color and a design more reminiscent of the raptors from the Lost World, Jurassic Park. What makes this even more fascinating is that recordings exist showing the crew working with a full-size suit, or creature costume, of this red raptor during tests. This suggests that the concept was taken far enough to be physically built and considered for filming. Although it never appeared in the final movie, many fans speculate it might have been intended as the alpha female of the pack. The design was eventually abandoned, but the rare behind-the-scenes footage keeps the red raptor alive as one of the most intriguing what-ifs in the franchise's history. One of the deleted scenes in Jurassic Park 3 is Udesky's death at the claws of the velociraptors. In the final cut of the film, we only see him lying on the ground as a raptor drives its sickle claw into his back, and later another raptor delivers the fatal bite to his head. However, the original sequence was more intense. After being trapped, Udesky picks up a stick and desperately tries to fight back. He swings at the raptors in a last attempt to survive, but they quickly overpower him, leaving him badly injured before finishing him off. Production stills confirm that this alternate version was filmed, and some fans believe it may have even been completed in post-production. It offered a more brutal and tragic end, showing Udesky's final struggle against impossible odds. The film never shows what really happened to Ben Hildebrand, Amanda Kirby's boyfriend. In the final cut, all we see is his skeleton strapped to a parachute, leaving his fate a mystery. But the official shooting script reveals much more. Originally, Ben was attacked by a pack of velociraptors, and Eric was meant to capture the attack on his camcorder as it happened. The scene would have made Ben's death far clearer and far more brutal, while also giving audiences another terrifying encounter with the raptors. Jurassic Park 3 could have ended in ways far more intense and unpredictable than the version we ultimately saw on screen. Several alternate endings were considered during production, each offering a different and sometimes darker conclusion to the story. In one version, the pteranodons attacked the rescue helicopters, mistaking them for predators. This idea, depicted in early storyboard sketches, would have taken the danger of these creatures beyond the island itself, leaving audiences with the unsettling impression that the threat was far from over. Another ending focused on the Spinosaurus, the film's main antagonist. In one draft, after attacking the survivors on the raft, the Spinosaurus is ambushed and killed by a pack of velociraptors, restoring the raptors' status as the ultimate predators of the franchise. In another version, the Spinosaurus follows the group all the way to the shore, where it clashes violently with US Marines before finally being killed, a dramatic conclusion that emphasized its raw, unstoppable power. But perhaps the most sinister concept imagined the US government bombing Isla Sorna, thus eradicating the dinosaurs once and for all. This would have meant a tragic and definitive ending, completely eliminating any possibility of future stories set on the island. It was likely discarded for being too definitive and leaving no room for sequels. These alternate finales highlight how differently Jurassic Park 3 could have concluded. They provide a fascinating glimpse into the filmmakers' original ideas and the wide range of possibilities they explored for the fate of Isla Sorna and its prehistoric inhabitants. As we've seen, Jurassic Park 3 was full of ideas and scenes that never made it to the final cut, moments that could have changed the story, added suspense, or even introduced new layers to the characters and dinosaurs we love. Exploring these deleted concepts gives us a fascinating glimpse into the creative process behind the movie and shows just how much the filmmakers experimented to bring the island to life. If you're curious about more of these lost ideas and the dinosaurs that were almost part of the films, make sure to check out our full series on the deleted dinosaurs from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. Which of these deleted scenes do you wish had been included in the final movie? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of Jurassic Park.